everyone, welcome to my end of the year roundup. Everything I knit in 2025 with Gigi. I'm Gigi and I'm so glad you could join me here today on my little corner of the internet. So we are almost at the end of the year and I can't believe that we've gotten this far. Sorry, I'm gonna get a little bit more comfortable here on my couch. I went through everything that I have knit in 2025. There were a couple things I actually forgot about, which was surprising, but we're going to go through them. I think I have about 18 items that I did knit. Some of them I've given away, so I will try and get pictures of them set up here somewhere so you can see them. Otherwise, we're just gonna hold them up. I'm not going to do a try on because we just have so many. First of all, I'm going to do the number one thing right here. Here's number one. It was one of the last things that I knit, which was Joji Locatelli's One Love Mystery Shawl. This one I did in Malabrigo. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It was a fingering. If you look back in some of my older podcasts, you can see I name it all. I will try for as hard as I can to tell you what I knit things up with. But again, there was so much that it's sometimes hard to remember it all. I'm going to be better this next year. One of my New Year's resolutions is to journal or put into Ravelry the projects that I have. In some way put everything down so I know the needle sizes that I used, the yardage that I ended up using, the fiber that I used, all of those good things. So I'm going to try to be a lot better about that. So with that said, this is the One Love Mystery Shawl. I'm leaning sideways here because I'm grabbing one. Here's the other one that I knit. I know this is Malabrigo's Rios in the Libra colorway. And let me see which way is, yep. This is the right side. So this one obviously came out bigger than the one I'm wearing currently. And I love both of them. This one's a little bit squishier. I like this one too. I have this, it's a pin. I'm using it as a shawl pin. I got it at Madewell, actually just recently. So they may still have it. And it's just a pin that comes, this part here just comes off. So I've kind of just used that there. Okay, so that is what I've used for that. Let's move on to a couple of other things that I have knit. Okay, let me think. Got a little bit more comfortable. I say a lot. I need to work on that. I have a lot of New Year's resolutions about things that I want to do better and be better at. That is one of them. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to show you, if you haven't seen it before, I call this my disco ball sweater, right? Let me back up here. That is shimmery and shiny. I will get up real close. That's the yarn. It is a thicker, I think it's more of a DK weight cotton. And I just knit this up as a shell and put a V-neck on it. I wore this at the meet and make at Flock in August. I will put a picture up here of that. I met Jeanette Knits again for the second time and took a picture with her and my girlfriends Carmen and Maria. So that I call my disco ball sweater. There's no pattern for it. I just knit it up in basically a shell. So I'll put that over there. Let's see, what else do I have? The Elton cardigan. The Elton cardigan, I cast that on in January, I remember, and I was using a yarn from the SoCal Fiber Festival. It was the SoCal Fiber Festival that I was using a yarn for, and this yarn was variegated and it was a very bright green with the blue in it, or blue with green speckles, and then I held it with a green fingering and a mohair for the other stripe. I can put pictures of, I think, the progress of it. I did finish it when I was in England in February, and I ended up gifting that. So I don't have any pictures of the final product with the person in that. So at least I'll show you so you can see the coloring of what I did. The next thing that I knit was, oh, I was working on, I'll put that away. I'll do this one first. The sundial wrap. Now the sundial wrap, I knit this with Advent yarn, and this is a mosaic knit pattern. I will put a link to everything down below. So some of these, because it is variegated, when you added the new yarn, it didn't pop as much as, like, say this section popped, because I was using Advent yarn and I was using, some of it was variegated. It didn't work as well as I liked, although I do love the colors, and I used this a lot when I was in England because it is really squishy soft. And I think I'm going to cast on another one. I'm going to change the shape of it and make it more of just a wide rectangle, and then I'm going to use minis that I handpick the colors and intentionally make it look the way I want it to look. So anyway, that was this one. See how squishy soft that is? That's just, and then I did put these little tassels on it right here. So I like that. That was a lot of fun. That is the sundial wrap. I finished that when I was in England. And then the third thing that I cast on and finished while I was in England was the Sophie hood, which my oldest daughter Bree requested that I make for her. And she requested that I make it in black. So that was definitely a labor of love. I did finish it. I will put pictures up here of her wearing it. She's posted a couple of times at Instagram. It was really funny because she said she was really surprised when she put it on Instagram how many people commented, "Oh, is that the Sophie hood?" She said, "I didn't know that that was a thing." Of course it's a thing. You spend a week of your life on board river cruise with all these knitters. She is beginning to understand a little bit better about the community and the importance of making. Actually, she was just telling me today that one of her New Year's resolutions is to use her creativity, but outside of work, because she's a fine line tattoo artist. And so her creativity is always geared towards her job, her work, her studio that she owns. And I thought that was a great idea. I was really proud of her. So she's going to look into what she can do to be creative, but in ways that bring her joy and not in ways that are work related, that are just things that bring her joy. So I thought that was nice. Okay, sundial wrap, Sophie hood. Fourth, the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry. This was I'm trying some of the things on. I'm not going to try on the sweaters. This was a kit from a chick that knits, and this is a single ply yarn in fingering weight, which I just love this. When I was in Salzburg, Austria, I was able to find a sweater that was the exact color of wine. Let me show it to you. This beautiful wine right here, that exact color, and I love it. So before that, I would wear it with gray. I'll show you a picture there that I posted up in gray. I'm wearing my, I don't know if you can see that, my little, oh gosh, Christy, Bertie Parker Designs. Wow, that was a senior moment, guys. Senior moment right there. Bertie Parker Design earrings. Okay. This is the Shift by Andrea Mowry. I've done that. Then let's see, what else did I make? Oh, let's go. I did a test knit for Alicia Plummer, campside sweater. And this is in a fingering weight, no, a sport weight with a mohair. that I held to give it extra fluff. And I love the little eyelets, how they start off shorter and then they get, actually this is top down. So it starts off wider and then it goes closer together. And I just love the way this looks. It's very heathered. It's lightly variegated. It's tonal, but it's really, really pretty. So that one is another one that I knit this year in 2025. You've seen this one recently if you watch. This is the new Norma. And this was using Adarah Fibers. She calls it Fat Fluff. This is Creme Brulee. And I don't know what the pink is called. I don't want to call it Bubblegum. And then the chocolate brown is Chocolate Kisses, I believe. Very light. This is really interesting because I bought a fluff, and that's what it's called, fluff. It's a DK weight Surrey alpaca at a yarn store when I went to Bath, England in February, and Carmen helped me pick out a color. I will put a picture up. I knit the broom sweater. I actually knit that in 2 weeks. It was a fast knit. Of course, to be fair, my husband was Mr. Knits, was going to work every single day over at the Birmingham City Football Club and working on the football players, soccer players over there. And I was stuck in a little tiny apartment. I'd get out, I would take the train, but I always took a project on the train. So I did a lot of knitting while I was in England this year. And I was there for 4 weeks. So anyway, this is the new Norma. Now, if you don't know the difference between the Norma and the new Norma, the Norma is a raglan shaped sweater from top down. And the new Norma is a drop sleeve. So the shaping of it is a little bit different. I think for this material, this fat fluff that I'm using, it's actually probably better that I use this construction, the new Norma, rather than the Norma, because I feel like the Norma, because this is alpaca, with the raglans, it does tend to pull down and it just gets bigger and bigger and grows. So I think this one is just a little bit more structured, and it, with the sleeves being drop sleeve and then picking them up and what you're doing with it, it's less droopy, I think. I do intend to knit the Norma, but I'm using a fingering held with a mohair, a wool held with a mohair. So that'll be different. It's Elmer. Is Elmer a DK or a sport? I don't know. I'll figure it out. You know what? I'm okay with saying I don't know about stuff. That's just the way it is. A lot of people, they have all their show notes, they have scripts, they have all this stuff, and they get it all together and it looks super professional. I just want to get on here and just talk. I want to be like, hey, we're hanging out, we're knitting, just throw it on while you're knitting. Let's talk together, let's spend some time together, get a warm cup of whatever makes you really happy, and just sit and chat. And hopefully at this time of year, maybe it's cool enough you can have a fire going. It's my favorite thing to do. I have a number of podcasts that I watch that I absolutely love, and I just put them on and I just listen and knit, and I have the best time doing it. So, okay, new Norma. That's the other one. Let's see. Oh, this one. This one I love. This is the Ishbel. And I'm going to turn it around this way. So here's our mid spine and here's the ends. Look at that. This is a triangle shape shawl. What happened here is this is a fingering weight silk and mohair together in one. It is fabulous. It's a hand dyed by the Handmaiden, and I got it in Nova Scotia on my cruise with the grocery girls last September, end of September, early October. So I cast this on, and I had this art yarn. And art yarn, this was a mohair with beads and sequins already in it. Let's see if we can get up close on that. And the problem when I put the two together is this mohair silk blend was very teal. It was very greeny, and it just completely clashed with this blue that I knit this part with. So what I ended up doing was I put it aside. I was knitting on this during the Ireland tour in September, and I put it aside and waited till I got home, and then I took that teal mohair and put it with a black mohair, and I felt like if I did that it would tone down the green or the blue part of that, which it did, and it was very successful. I actually think that this is just beautiful. I am very proud of this sweater, and I like to wear it with just a black pants and a black top outfit, because for me this is the star of the show. I love this. So this is the Ishbel. Okay, oh, this one was a quick knit. This is the goat cowl, and I was in Orlando for my son's best friend's wedding. I stopped in at Four Pearls Yarn Store in Winters Haven and bought these 3 yarns. This is, I know, Christmas sprinkles is what this is called. I don't know what the green and the red are called, but I marled it together and just kind of did a Christmassy cowl, which I did wear at Christmas time, and I loved it. It was really cute. So I was a quick knit. I probably did that up in a week, and I knit that. Okay, what else do I have? Oh goodness, over on this side of me I've got a large pile. So I've got a bunch of sweaters. Let's start with the Alpine Bloom. This is the Alpine Bloom sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and I know the yarn. This color work part is Spincycle's Sugar High. So we have the Sugar High, and this part is Frankie Gray Fiber fingering weight yarn in the color Parchment. So I am really, really happy with this. I love wearing this one in the springtime. I think it's just fabulous. There's that one. I think all but these are all summer ones. This one is called the Shona. I'm going to show this up close so that you can see the lace work. Let's see, there we go. The lace work pattern. And then the bottom of the hem, this neck, and the edges of the sleeves. Let's get that in focus. There we go. These are all done in a crochet, a bobble. This yarn is La Bien-Aimée Graffiti Driftwood, and it is in Alix, A-L-I-X, that's her base. It is lace weight, so I held it double. I love this. I have a pair of mustardy color Lee cargo pants that I'll wear it with, or I wear it with a very dark wash denim, skinny denim jeans, and I have a pair of suede brown boots that really match well with this. I probably should do a video of styling your knits. I think I'm going to do that. I will do a video on styling your knits and do some of my knits a couple of different ways. So this is the Shona top. Again, I love. I'm not a huge fan of knitting sweaters with variegated yarn, but this one to me really came out beautifully. I probably would do it again. I liked the Shona top. I thought it was really stunning. So there's that one. This one, this is Kate Oates BFFT, and I'm going to come up real close. See that little X there? This is just a little t-shirt. It's kind of cropped, And what I did on the end, I'll show you here on the hem. Hold on, let's get nice and close. Okay, so I purled a couple of rows, and then I did stockinette and I let it roll up, and it rolled up to where the purling is. So at least it controls the rolling of the stockinette at the end. I wanted a more casual look. This yarn is, I want to say, Farmer Daughters Fibers Foxy Lady. I think that's the colorway, and it's a variegated gray. I love this. I wear this under I have a black leather jacket and a pair of black pants that I'll wear it with when I go out. So that is the BFFT. Let's see. Oh goodness. Okay, this one. Now this one I have worn a lot, but I have to say I love this fiber. It was super soft, but it is. This sweater is called the Ilha, and I did some modifications. I did the yoke exactly the way she described, but on the sleeves and on the bottom I did something else. So what makes this one unique is on the sides here, let me see if I can hold this up. On the sides here, can we see that? There we go. On the sides she has this cabling that goes down the sides. The bottom and the sleeves, I will show you a picture of what that looks like from the designer. For my own personal aesthetic and what I wanted to do and how I wanted it to look, I modified this, and I took that cabling and just figured out the stitch count on the bottom, and finished the bottom up using that cabling. And I did the same on the sleeves. I did 3/4 sleeves and then finished those off. This is quite cropped. It comes to the top of my, just under my buckle, or my whatever, you know, you put your pants on, you buckle your pants. So it comes right to there, but I'm not going around lifting my arms up a whole lot. And I think if it were probably an inch longer, that might be better for me. I will say this year I have learned a lot about sweater length, what looks good on me, what doesn't, how things should hit. I think I've told you before, and you probably, if you have seen me, you'll know that I have fairly narrow shoulders and I have a large bust, but my hips and my waist are really narrow. I have very narrow hips, and I have no rear end whatsoever to speak of. It's flat as a pancake, and no amount of Pilates or squats have helped that at all. Just so don't write me comments and say, well, if you just did or you just did. No, I've worked it. It's been like this for as long as I can remember. I have a couple children who have the same thing. So anyway, I have learned a lot, and I am finding that I don't so much mind the bust being defined. A lot of people want no patterning across their bust if they're large busted, and that doesn't bother me so much. I think when I have the opportunity to either wear a crew neck or something a little more open, I'll wear it a little more open because that softens it. The bra you wear matters. Truly, it can make you look really a lot bustier or bigger, or it can minimize it. So I've spent a lot of time this year looking at different bras and trying different bras. And I am really happy with the things that I've learned in knitting this year. I've really challenged myself, done a lot of color work, which color work terrified me before. And I think I really dove into it in 2024. I took a class on craftsy.com from Mary Jane Mucklestone. If you want to look for that, I will put a link down below. It is her colorwork vest and steeking class. And so there are some things that I have really learned with that, and I have fallen in love with color work. It isn't what I do all the time, but I do love a beautiful, beautiful color work sweater. I still love textures. This is why I did the ilha, because the textures on here were phenomenal. I actually like this better than the ranunculus. So this, I probably will do the ilha again, and I will just make it a little bit longer. This yarn, I wish I remembered. If I can go back, I think I'll go back into my podcasts and look at when I talked about the ilha, and I will find the link to all the information on that, and I will get that put down below. Because I love this, but I will say it's super, super pilly. I'm trying to find a really good gleaner to clean this. I haven't found anything I love spectacularly yet, but I will find something. Okay. Last thing is the Rosie sweater. I did have this up in my last actual podcast. I finished this. I will say I went up a needle size on the color work. So I used a US size 7 on the main part of the sweater. And then when I got to the color work, I went up to a US size 8. With that said, I still have issues of it bunching in a bit at the colorwork section. So I think I'm going to block it again and see if I can get just this colorwork section to stretch out a little bit more so it's a little more even with the body of the sweater. And I don't know necessarily, not that tight of a knitter. The body's fine. Here's the other thing too. It is long. I did knit it longer than the pattern said. And I was thinking to myself, I'm going to do that because I'm probably going to wear it with brown legging-ish type pants. So I wanted it long. It is very big, very oversized, very boxy, which I love. I think because it is so oversized this way, being oversized this way on my stature, it just looks huge. And it's cute, don't get me wrong, but I really think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to rip it back, frog it, and go back to here and just start the ribbing here. And so it will probably be more like, hold on, let me see if I can do this. Woo! There we go. It's going to be more like this when it's done. Can't even do this right. Oh well. Okay, there we go. Like that. We'll have maybe a 1/2 inch underneath the last bit of color work, and then do the ribbing and redo that Italian bind off, because I love that Italian bind off. It is so beautiful and it stretches. I have tried Jenny's super stretchy bind off a couple of times on ribbing. It was too stretchy and it was misshapen. And then I used Laura Nelkin's modified Jenny's super stretchy bind off. And what happened with this is it's okay, but it doesn't look spectacular. And it is really not very stretchy, which this doesn't need to be because it's so oversized, but I'm liking the Italian bind off. On the super simple summer sweater that I'm knitting for my daughter-in-law, which I've started on the first sleeve. I will not get it done for this year. So that's going to be in next year's everything I knit for 2026, along with the Happy Camp sweater. I am halfway through the first sleeve on the Happy Camp sweater. I did the Italian bind off in this alpaca. It was a labor of love. It took a while because you're pulling through lots of loops, and it was worth it. It really was. The mohair, it's a little, not mohair, the Surrey alpaca, because there's fat parts and not so fat parts, and it's not a consistent spin on it. It's a little fiddly, but I am very happy with the result of it. So I will do an Italian bind off again on a fat fluff or a DK Surrey silk, whatever the different people call their bases. Okay, I have one more. Let me go grab that last thing. My final object is the Winter's Beach Cardi by Andrea Mowry. So we have cables, we have moss stitch, we have honeycomb. I love this. The sleeves are fabulous. I used Adarah Fibers tweed in the colorway Dad's Oats. Very oatmeal-y looking. Isn't that beautiful, that tweed? I love this. I wear this around the house all the time. Ergo, you can tell because the pockets are stretched out, which I'm going to go and reinforce with elastic. See, I did a different color in there. Again, this was Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I should not have done it on this pocket. This pocket should have been a little bit tighter so it held up and it doesn't flop open like this. So I believe I can redo that. Just put some elastic in the top and that will fix it. The great thing about knitting and being a hand knitter is I have been able to customize my designs to fit me, to fit my lifestyle, to fit my body, my likes, my dislikes. There is just nothing better than being able to do things that bring you this much joy. And if you don't like a particular thing, you can take it out, redo it. I do have in another video, I am putting up in just a little bit, I will put up some projects for 2025 that didn't quite make it. And we'll talk about why those didn't make it, and we'll be frogging all of those whips. So I will be doing a video just on whips. What do I have on my needles? Will I finish it? Will I frog it? Sometimes if you put it in timeout and then you take it back out and you're still mad at it, it's frustrating you, not worth it. You just have to frog it. Still thinking about most of that, but I think I've made most of the decisions on the whips that I have. We'll go through those in the next video. I will put that up very, very soon. Thank you all for following me for the last 4 months of this journey. Please take me into the new year. If you've just found me, if you like this video, even if you're subscribed, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. The likes are very appreciated. And the comments, you know, it's really weird sitting here in a room all by yourself looking at a camera, at this device, and trying to imagine that I'm talking to somebody. So what brings me even greater joy, the knitting brings me a lot of joy, but really it's hearing from you, it's seeing your comments and knowing that we're actually doing this together. And that's what I really love. So please leave a comment, and I would really appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button. I am very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. When I get to 1,000, we're going to do a special something giveaway for all of you, because I just want to say thank you so much for being here and helping me grow and watching all of my little crazy corner here of the internet. It has brought me so much joy. I have learned so much this year, both in my knitting, in learning about technology, all kinds of things. And I hope to go into this next year growing even more, making more fabulous knits. If you have any suggestions, put them down below. I have a couple of things we'll be talking about in my traditional podcasts, future plans. So thank you so much for joining me here today. This is kind of a quick one because we just went through what I knit. I knit 18 things, 18 items in 2025. Let's see if I can do even better in 2026. Thanks for joining me all. Remember to put joy in every single stitch. Have a happy new year, and let's make 2026 a wonderful year. Thanks.